Okay, so let's get going. Again, just a quick confirmation. Can you hear me well? Because I put my mic in mute, so sometimes the system gets disconfigured. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone. Okay, awesome. Great, so two things. So first, let's finish the last step here, which is the clear. Let's finish that so we get done with the exercise. You're gonna take a tennis and then you're gonna go through your own exercise, okay? So to wrap us up here, to wrap things up with this one, clear button. I'm gonna go to the events. I'm gonna double click on the click event, or I can double click clear, and then I'm gonna code the clear event. The idea of the clear event is when you click clear button, everything in the screen will be cleared. Like first name will disappear from there, whatever checkboxes are checked for the courses will be unchecked as well. So we're gonna handle control by control, one at a time. Okay? So who can tell me how I would... Okay, Madu, okay, so can you please scroll up in your codes? Okay, I will... Is that for the okay button? I can share the code right away, but is it for the click or for the load? I'll make it easier here. I'm just gonna select everything for now, and I will... Okay. So the first control that we're gonna be cleaning is the first name. So what do you think should be our code here for the first name control for us to get it clean? Let's put it this way. Anyone take a chance here on the chat? Mazir? Yep, James, that's correct. James, it should be an attribution, not double equal, but one single equal. One equal only, okay? So yes, you can do that. I just came to know yesterday that there's a method as well that you could use to clear it up. So you can do either .text equals to empty string, or you could do this as well. There's a method for that. There's a clear method. Look. One or the other would work just fine. To be honest, I just came to know about this one yesterday from a student that had tested and suggested I could use this. So you can use the property text, or you can use the .clear method. Either way will work just fine. I'm just gonna stick to the text. I need to do the same thing for the last name. And then txt city, the same as well. Okay, and then let's see here. So city, domestic. So let's look at this. What do you think that we should do with RBTN domestic? What do you think? Okay, so how about, I would like to fix something here quickly. I'm gonna comment this out just for a second. I'm gonna run the code. Let's hold on that thought for a second there. I want to adjust one thing here. So look, usually every single control will have a default value. Now residence, to be honest, one of the two, either domestic or foreign, they should be selected by default. We should give a default there. Right now, there's no default. So at this point in time, both domestic and foreign are false. How about we fix that? How about we make one false and the other one true? So I'm gonna go in design mode. I'm gonna say the default one, let's say, it's foreign, for the sake of example. So I'm going to go to foreign, and I'm going to say checked equals to not false, but to true. So now, at least we have a default value there. Okay, so what I can do is I can in the form I can say in the code I can say rbtn domestic dot checked equals to false, because then rbtn foreign will get checked automatically. Let me look at a comment here. So Roy says, can we use a loop to loop through the controls and use clear to clear them all? Just like JavaScript, store elements in an array and loop through them one by one. Good point, Roy. You might be able to do that. You might be able to do that. To be quite honest, you should be able to do that. I'm just a bit hesitant to do that because we would have to figure out where is the collection of items, and then again I'm honestly asking here. I don't know if all of them have a clear methods. They may. I'm just not sure. So to answer your point, most likely you can. Have I tried that before? I have not. Okay, so I'd really welcome if you want to give it a try and do that. You know. Now here's the thing. You have to be careful, because are you really gonna go through every control to clear them? Maybe not, because you're not going to be clearing the group boxes, the labels. Again, you have to think about that. You may have to create some exceptions there. You may even have to test if type is text box, if type is radio button. So again, the code might become a little bit more complicated than what you are anticipating. What you're saying is possible to loop through, but you have to figure out which controls you're going to be cleaning, which controls you will not be cleaning. Okay? I hope this makes sense. Again, if you want to give it a try, go for it, but it becomes a little bit beyond what we want to do here. Okay? But I would love to see that. Derek, what if we put an initial value in the onload event, then call it on clear? Okay, what if we put an initial value in the onload event and then call it on clear? That's fine. You could do that. You could have, Derek, you could have a method that would be clear methods, and then you could clear all of them. Then you could call clear inside the load and inside the on click of the clear. You could do that. You could have a separate method, you know, and call from both of them. Okay? We could even try that. So let's mark rdp domestic.check to false. What else we have? What are the controls? Program. CBO program. No problem, Roy. Okay, CBO program.text. We can set it to this, you know, the CBO program as well, the combo box. And then we have GPA, we have NRUD, so we have to set the value for the semester as well. We can put semester as 0 because it's a numeric value. And then GPA, well, GPA you could put it as an empty string, as another text. And last one, actually last batch here, we have to put the checkboxes. We have to uncheck each and every single checkbox. So we have to put false here on each one of them. Now, let me save some typing here, and I'm gonna copy that from another solution that I have. Okay, so I'm just gonna go again for each checkbox. I'm gonna set checked to false. Why this one would be a good one to loop through all checkboxes and then set the check to false. You know, it could be a good one as well here. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see how this behaves. Our clear. I'll do that in I'll copy and paste to Padlet. Let's just confirm that this is working. So I'm just gonna add some random information here. And then if we click on clear, so there's something here that didn't go as well as I was expecting, which is the foreign domestic here. This case, we're gonna have to set domestic to checked false and foreign to checked true, okay? Because it's not doing that automatically for us, okay? So we're gonna have to do something like this. Foreign RD RBT and foreign. So we have to check, we have to do this here, okay? Because I think that when you assign them via the codes, the other one doesn't get flipped automatically if you do that via the code as we did here. Okay, so that's why we need to do like this. I'm gonna copy this whole thing to Padlet and to Slack as well. So I post that as final codes. And yeah, it's there. Okay. So Mazir, can we assign null to text boxes? Okay, so for the text property, I don't think you can, but you know what, to be honest, let's give it a try. I don't know if you can do that for a visual control. Well, it's accepting here. Let's see how this goes. Let's try this. Usually null, it destroys that the value there, but you know, let's have a look. It works. It works to reset as well. So I guess you can. I have never tried that before, Mazir, but yeah, you can do that. I don't know if there are any side effects to that, but it seems that you can. You don't set null to the entire control. You set null to the property. Okay, actually, I don't know. Let's try to do that for the entire control. I think that the control will disappear from the UI, but let's see. Well, it's running, but it doesn't do anything. You know, when you set to null. So yeah, so you are good with an empty string, but again, nothing wrong with using clear. Well, and now you know that nothing wrong with using null either. As long as you get the job done, to be quite honest. But I've never used them. I've never used null. I've never used that clear, but you can use both of them. Anyway, code has been posted there. I'm gonna package all of this in a zip file, the entire solution. I'm gonna post that to Padlet right now and to Slack as well. Any questions? I'm gonna give you a second. Think about any questions. I'm gonna run through the attendance. So give me 1 second here. So if you hear, or actually when you hear your name, just say I'm here or here, whatever you want to say on the chat so I can put your attendance. So you're running through week 11. So if you have spoken before, I know that you are in. So Akshil, Amir Salam, Andre, I saw your name there. That's at some point. Ashdeep, I saw you there as well. Basil, again, just put in the chat, say hi. Yeah, I'm here, something like that. Give me a smoke signal or something. Christy, Danielle, Diogo, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but Diogo, I can see you here. I don't see you putting anything in the chat. Come on, you'd get again. I'm gonna assume maybe you run away, Diogo, but that's fine. Dirk, I saw you. Ederson, I saw you. Edgar, I think I saw you as well. Farzan, I saw you at some point. Kopika. Yep. Kukirat, I saw you as well. Harmandeep. Hoi Fong, Hoi, I saw you. James. KU. KU, I don't see you. Lincoln, I saw you somewhere. I think I saw you there somewhere. Okay, Lincoln. Mamadou, present as well. Mao Ming. Matthew, I think I saw you. Mazir, saw you. Nabil, I don't see you. Parwinder, I saw you as well. Prabhaldeep, saw you too. Pranchand, Samvel, yep. Sina, I saw you. And Wei Hao. Okay, if you did not hear me calling your name, let me know. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so now let me just check my agenda here. Okay, so now here's the thing. Arshdeep, I think I put your attendance there. Let me just double check that. Yes, I put yours. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna do your own exercise because you have to do some hands-on without me guiding you all the way. So in 1 second, I'm gonna post the code to Padlet in Slack, but before that, under week 9, go through exercise 11. Read it through. The exercise is simple, but it's just dense because you have to read a few actually a few recaps of what we went through today. So go through exercise 11, and during this time, okay, got it. Okay, Gabriel, okay, I will take care of your attendance in a second. But go through the exercise. During this time, you can count on me to help you out if you get stuck with the exercise. Also, if you have questions about assignment 3, this is the right time to bring that to me. I'm still trying to figure out what is the best way for me to give feedback like this. I can give you control of the presentation, so you can, if you want, you can present your code to me, or you can share your code to me via Slack. Go to Slack, you can post your code just to me privately on Slack, and I can have a look at your codes. We can communicate on Slack as well, 101, just a bit more private if you want. But again, use this time well. I got a good interaction from the other section, so I want to see questions coming up. I cannot walk through the class as I would do if we were in class and check with each one of you, but I'm here to assist, and count with me for that. Either for the exercise, for the assignment, you have exercise 11 and 12 to go through, and in the last, actually just around 9:40, 9:45, I'll be covering another topic here about lists. It's a short topic, but I want to cover that, still that today, okay? So I'm gonna give you about 40 minutes to go through this, 40, 35. And again, I'll be helping you out if you need help with assignment or the exercise. For now, I'm gonna shut down. Just gonna take care of the codes, and I'm gonna address the questions that I had here in the chat. Okay, I'm not gonna disappear. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm just gonna mute myself so you can have some quiet time there. Actually, I'm gonna keep myself unmuted here. So I'll be addressing the attendance of you guys that posted messages there. Okay. Okay, so presences, the attendance is given to everyone. The code that I needed to share, that I wanted to share, is right here. So I'm gonna add to Padlet, and I'm gonna add to Slack as well. Okay, so student info is on Padlet. It's both on Padlet and on Slack as well. Mamadou, if you want to ask me questions about assignment 3, this is the right timing. Again, we can give it a shot and I can try to help you out, okay? So I know that you were asking about that before. Okay, I'll just mention it. So it's about substring. Substring, the purpose of that substring, Mamadou, is just that the message property might be long. So by using substring, you can chop it down, you can cut it down and just give a smaller piece of that long, potential long message. So you can use the method substring to just get a smaller chunk of the entire message. You don't need to post the entire message, just a smaller chunk. Okay, so I'm talking about the message. So the other properties like from and to, you can post them as they are, but just the message in the to string overload or overriding that you are doing, just a message you can use a substring to get a smaller chunk, you know, maybe 10 characters or something like that. No problem. Okay. Dirk, I think that you are referring to the array, correct? I mean, that I've mentioned an array and yep, okay, so that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, you can use list. Actually, it's a good topic because that's what you're gonna be talking in 25 minutes. So in 25 minutes, we're gonna be talking about lists. So that's fine, that's fine. You can use a list to handle the tweets. That's okay. Hi everyone, just a reminder that I'm here to assist, okay? This is the time to ask for my assistance because Windows development we're gonna be having our last final test with Windows development, okay? So if you get stuck, let me know. I'm right here, just a click away to help you out. Okay, Sina, I'm glad that you got it sorted out. I just saw your question now. Okay, Sina, if I come back, if we come back to school after April 5th, I think that till the end of the semester, Sina will be online. Okay, so I don't think that on April 5th we're gonna be in class. But again, to be quite honest, I don't I don't know yet, but it does not look like, you know, that we're gonna be in class for the semester anymore. Okay, everything, all the talks that have been going on indicates that the entire semester will be done online. Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Again, just a quick feedback to make sure that everybody can hear me well. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Sina. Awesome, awesome. Okay, great. So here's the idea. The idea is that now you have 2 exercises to do on your own time. Okay? Again, we have to be smart about the time that we have to ourselves. Now you don't have to commute anymore, so you have some extra time to be able to take care of those exercises. So what I'll be doing is next class, I'll be asking if you have any difficulties with exercise 11, 12, and we're going to touch on exercise 13 as well. So you're going to have 3 exercises to do on your own time. Bring your questions next class, okay? I'm not gonna, and I'll be providing the solution for exercise 11, 12, for all of them. But again, I'm talking about questions, doubts, issues that you may have had. Bring them next class. Now, I would like to cover one topic now in the next 20 minutes more or less. This topic is called lists. Just so you know, week 11 was supposed to be the week that we would talk about collections. Collections, we would be talking about lists, about dictionaries, about sorted dictionaries, a few more topics. However, that week has been taken. Okay, so that was last week. But I still think that it's important for you to get to know a way to handle a collection of objects before you finish this course. So I've compressed that full week with one single topic, which is called lists. I really want that you leave this course knowing at least about lists, because I think it's very important for your next semester on web application development. So again, list, I want to cover it today. It's not very extensive, and I have, in a way, I have simplified the content, the description, and the explanation quite a lot. So we're not gonna go through a whole lot. We're gonna be very focused on what is practical and useful about lists. Okay, so I'm gonna go in presentation mode here. Actually, let me just do it like this. So again, week 11 lists. List is a modern way to take care of a list of different types, of different objects. Okay, you can use arrays. Yes, actually, it's the challenge that I have posted for the assignment 3. However, if you would have used the list, it would be okay. And Derek, I think it was you that asked me if you could use a list. That's fine. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Array is a little bit more complicated. Now, I would like to ask. Yeah, so lists, we're gonna see how we can add items, how we can remove items, how we can change items. Now, who can tell me what is a major limitation of arrays? If you had some experience in the past, you may have seen that. But again, just same data type model. It is the same data type, and actually in a list we also have the same data type. Okay, so unless we have a list of objects that we can add any type inside, but even a list is also a list of a certain type of objects, of a certain type, integers, strings, students, but it's the same type as well. James, you need to know the size. Yes, James, that's it. So a major limitation of arrays is that you need to know the size. There are strategy actually. Roy just showed me his codes that he's dealing with arrays, and it's a clever way to resize arrays dynamically. So you can resize, but it's not very, how can I say, it's not very straightforward. Basically, so the major limitation of arrays is really that you need to know the size before you can start using it, which is different with lists. Okay. So with lists, you don't need to know the size. It can grow as you add more items to it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about lists here. So the terminology is a little bit different, a little bit, in a way, a little bit strange. We use lists and we define the type of elements that go inside of our list by using this terminology here. If we need a list of strings, we say list less than string greater than. We put the type. We replace T with the appropriate type. It can be a list of numbers, of integers, of decimals, of objects, of students, of accounts, of shapes, whatever the list you want to create. Okay, so it's called a list of generics. This is a generic type. You can say that your list is of any particular type, but you have to define what is the type of that list. Okay. Also, list comes from this namespace, system.collections.generic. When we're dealing with Windows applications, this namespace is added automatically at the top for you, so you usually don't need to worry about that. Just so you know, list, it comes from IEnumerable, iCollection, iList. Again, not very, at least at this point in time, not very important that you know that, but just so you know, it comes from this hierarchy. There's a video here. I'm not going to play that video, but the PDF version of this presentation that is already available on Centennial, you can download that and you can click this link. You can all watch this video that talks about lists. Actually, this is the same video that I sent on bonus 6, okay? So you can have a look there. It will just mention about the same things that I'm going to mention here, a few of them, just in a different way. When you are dealing with a list, you have a bunch of properties, a bunch of methods you can add. You can clear the items in the list. You can check if the list contains a certain element. Okay? You can insert items. You can remove items. You can remove an item from a particular position in the list. So again, very flexible. You don't need to say, oh, I want a list of 10 students. No, I want a list of students, and you can add as many as you want. Here again, just telling you the hierarchy of lists. It inherits from iList, which inherits from iCollection, which inherits from IEnumerable. Okay? Again, not super important here. I really want to focus on the practical side of lists. Okay, so we come to this example. I'm going to go to a Windows application to use as an example and explore some of the methods available on lists. Okay, so I'm going to open this Windows application. It's a very simple one. I just have a form called frm list. Here's the name. And then I have inside, I have a text box called txt output. Now, this text box is a little bit different, a little bit, I've played around with its properties quite a lot. I've stretched the text box and I have added multiple lines to this text box. And I've also changed the background color of the text box, okay? So I did a few changes here because instead of using a console application to demonstrate to demonstrate lists, we're gonna use this Windows application to have a look at that, to explore the properties, the methods of lists, okay? And we're gonna create our code inside the click of this button here, and the output will be done to this list, okay? So we're gonna create a list, we're gonna read the items from the list, and you're gonna be interacting with this particular text box, okay? So I'm gonna click on the button, I'm gonna double click there, shows me the click event for the button called btn process, okay? And we're gonna be defining our list. So we're gonna be creating list of strings. Let's make a simple list of colors. Let's just add a list of color names, okay? So list string, I'm gonna call this items equals to, and then I'm gonna say new, because list is an object, so new list of string. Now look at this. This is the type. Again, I get it. It's a little bit strange to have this terminology, this greater than and less than, this signal there, this symbol. But this is the type, list of strings. Now, how do you create a list of strings? Like you create any other object. You call the constructor, and at the end, parentheses. That's it. That's how you create one. Now, you can start adding items to it. How do you add an item? Well, you can say item.add, items.add, and then you're gonna say, I want to add the color red. But before that, how about as we just created the list, how about we count? We get the count property and we have a look at that. Let's see what the count property tells us right here. I'm gonna just do a little bit of copy and paste here. So again, txt output is the text box control here. And we're gonna add a message that says, before adding items, count is equals to, and then we are getting the count property here. Okay, so let's run this. Have a quick run here. And as I click the process list, here we have, before adding items, of course, count is 0. Okay. Now, after we add an item, again, very simply, let's just check this again. After adding items, actually, let's do this. One element. Okay, so after we add one element, we have a new count. Again, nothing too fancy here. Just a simple way. We get a count before, we add one item, we get a count after, we get number 1. Okay, so that's as simple as that when you call adds. Now, if we do something like this, our list will have how many items? Give me some feedback there on the chat. 2 items. Okay. So what will be after this line? What will be the value of the first item in the list? The index is 0. Yellow will be the first one, because here's the thing. When I say add red, it adds one item to the end of the list. Okay? When I say insert in the position 0 yellow, it pushes red down and inserts yellow right there. Okay? So now our list has 2 items. In the second one, even though it's the second item that we add, but we have added that to the position number 0. So whatever was there gets pushed down, and then we have yellow and then red. Okay, so after adding 2 elements, we have the count, and let's display the list of items there. Okay. Okay, so we got another count here, and then we say display list contents of the counter controlled loop. So we're gonna loop through every single item in the list, and we're gonna write them down. We may just separate them with a comma, let's say. Okay, so again, what we do here is for int I from 0, which is the first position in the list, to the count, to less than count. So to the, let's say it has 2 positions, it goes to position 1. So from 0 to 1, show me the items, and it will print them out. It will show in the text box, okay? So I'm gonna run this. So here's what we have, yellow and red. Okay, yellow is the first one. Now, who can tell me what is this? /r/n. Exactly. So the combination is for new line. Okay, so R is for carriage return, and N is for line feed. So when you combine both of them, you're gonna get a line break. Okay, there are different ways to do that. I'm just giving you the example of one particular way to do that. Okay, so we added the items here, we counted them up, all good. Now, if we add 2 more, so when we call, every time we call add, we add the item to the end of the list, not to the top, but to the end of the list. Okay, so after adding 2 more elements, the new count will be this, and we're gonna loop through again so you can print them out. So let's have a look at the count. So here we have, after adding 2 more elements, we have count equals to 4, and then let's loop through them. Now, let's use a different loop. This loop here, we use the count of the items as a reference point to be the end point. Actually, count minus 1, okay, because it's less than count. However, using a for each, which we use a for each today already. We have used a for each for the items in the array of strings for the programs in our first exercise. So we're gonna use for each here again, and we're gonna go for each item in items. So for each color in the list of colors, print them out. And I'm gonna just put a comma here, some space. So again, a different way that you can do a for loop. To be quite honest, I think that this style here, using for each, is simpler than this one here. Okay, just my personal opinion, but either way would be fine. So let's see the output. Look, yellow, red, green, and yellow again. So we have 2 yellows there. Okay, so 4 items, 2 yellows. Now, what if I do this? What if I do that? What will happen with my list? Let me ask this way. How long will be my list? What is the new count if I remove yellow? Okay, I'll do 3. Any other opinions there? Everybody agrees with that. Again, how many yellows we have? We have 2 yellows. So is it removing 1 yellow, both yellows? Maldo has one opinion, James has a different one there. Okay, so remove will remove the first occurrence of that entry. So after I call this, if I print the items again, and I'm gonna do that, we're gonna have 1 yellow left. Okay, so it goes and grabs the first one. Let's have a look. Yeah, I also thought at some point that it would delete both of them, but no, it just deletes the first one. You see, before we had like this, then it became like this. We still have the last yellow. It removes the first one. Now, what if I do this? By doing this, which item am I removing here? Actually, I don't expect that you memorize that. Let's have a look at the application. So red, green, and yellow. If I run this remove, which of them will be removed? Which item? Is it red? Is it green? Okay, we have different opinions there. Good. I like different opinions. So removes the item from index 1. Index 1 is the second item in the list. Keep this in mind. Pretty much every collection on C#, including arrays, including lists, the first item in the collection is item number 0. Okay? First item 0, second item 1. So if you say remove at 1, it will remove green from the list. Okay? Awesome. Okay. Let me just prove that to you. So here you're going to remove. And then as you can see, we have removed green from the list. Last method that I want to bring to your attention is the contains method. If I say something like this, what is that going to return? What do you think that this will going to return to me? Yep, so contains is a boolean. It's going to return either true or false. True if there's an item in the list that matches the string, and returns false if it does not match. So I'm gonna just do a quick test, and I'm gonna say if items contains red, do this. Red is in the list, otherwise red is not in the list. And here, to break the line, I'm using a different strategy. Instead of doing /r/n, I'm using environment. The environment, what is that? Is a class dot new line. So this is the same thing as I'll be doing with this one here, just another way. Okay, so let's just finalize this and run it for the last time. And as you can see, red is in the list. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is how we work with lists. We're gonna be working with lists. There's an exercise here that you're gonna be doing with a list. I think that's, let me see here, assignment. Assignment 4, I think it touches on lists as well. So again, I did not want to finish this course without having at least one type of collection being covered here. There is one exercise that is available on Centennial as well under week 11. The PowerPoint is here. The exercise is here. Program exercise 13. You have program exercise 13 files, which is a zip file that will help you to put this together. This is an interesting application. You're gonna be having a list of prime ministers, and as you click in the prime minister, you're gonna see the picture, the party, the term that the prime minister was, you know, in the government. So it's a good exercise for you to do. List. Can list be two-dimensional? It can, James. You can have a list of lists, okay? Now, to be quite honest, it's not very common. I have not seen that too much. But yes, you can have a list of lists, okay? Again, you just have to go to your codes and do something like this. So list string of list string. It becomes a little, and of course you have to adjust the constructor as well. But yeah, it's something like this. Okay. Okay, so this is about lists. Again, any questions about lists at this point? I think that the exercise will give you a chance to get exposed to that more. And I'll provide the source codes of this as well on Centennial. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put this on Centennial. Okay, so okay, great. So again, if you have any questions, let me know there. I have a few points before we get done tonight. So the first one is bonus 7 is released, and you can find it here. It's slightly different than the usual ones. Yes, we have the episode that you have to have a look, but here, instead of a video, on item number 2, I'm just asking you to go through this page on Microsoft and answer, not ask, but answer 2 questions. And both questions, they can be answered with the content that you're gonna find in this link. Next class, next week, we're gonna be talking about testing. Test-driven development, unit testing. This is a good starting point for you, and you're gonna be able to answer both of those questions with this link. You have until next class to submit your bonus 7. James, I see a question here. Are there any advantages of using arrays over lists? Again, the first one, you mentioned about the limitation of arrays. You have to know the size. So the size is the very first one. Let me think about some additional. The size is one, and the methods that we have available in lists, they are more powerful than the ones that you see in arrays. Also, in lists, you can use a very powerful language called, it's like a query language. It's called link in Lambda. You can use that with lists. Let me see here. List seems to be more intuitive. Yeah, so I'm also from the same opinion. Lists are more flexible and more powerful as well. I see more you can do more with lists. You have more possibilities with lists. Yeah, that's what I would say as well. Okay. Yep. Okay. No problem. So that's bonus 7, submitted before the beginning of next class next week. Okay. What else? Assignment 4. Assignment 4 has been released as well. You can go to Contents, Assignments, and here you can find Assignment 4, Inheritance. Go through it. You can ask me questions next week. You can ask me questions as you go through it. I'll leave it up to you, but Assignment 4 is released. Keep the same groups. You have 2 weeks to get it done by April 10th. This file goes together with the assignment. So again, I'm open for clarifications and discussions next week about this. Before I let you go, I do have one thing to ask. Actually, any questions in general? I think that I'm done here with my spiel, but I have one more thing to ask you to do for me. As this is our first class, I want to get a feeling of how things went. What could be better? What you have expected? Again, I just need some feedback there. And I want you to have the privacy of your feedback. Roy, is list using more system resources than arrays? They are. Roy, they are using. Because if you... We didn't have a chance to discuss that, but the way lists grow is that the system allocates a chunk of memory for a list that may or may not be used. So let's say if your list has 17 items, in memory it needs to allocate double of 16 to make that work. So there is an extra memory footprint, but it's not that huge. And I would say that yes, if you need something very simple that an array could handle, do it with an array. But don't force yourself to use an array just because you want to save the extra few bytes that you might be saving in memory for that, okay? Yes, again, so for that as well, there is more, but not just for the libraries, but basically the footprint in memory allocation is also bigger is also longer in a list, okay? Because the list has to allocate space whether you need them or not. It has to have extra space there. Again, unfortunately, because of the duration of our class, we didn't have a chance to talk about that, but enough to say that it takes a little bit more memory resources. Let's put it this way, okay? Okay, so again, I would like to see how things went today. Because this is our first time, I really want some feedback. And I want to give you the privacy of your feedback. So if you have a second, just before you drop, because I see people drop like, you know, have a look at, oh, sorry, I'm going to send this to everybody. Have a look, please. Have a look at this quick survey. Just 3 questions there, 4 questions actually. Tell me how things went now. Tell me what can be better in this online class. I want to make this work for everybody. You know, I want to make this interesting for you. So again, tell me what worked. Tell me what did not work. Tell me a suggestion that you may have. You know, give me something there that I can work with so I can make this better for next week, because we're gonna most likely go in this mode of delivery until the end of our semester, okay? So give me a few minutes of your time there just to give me some feedback there. I really, really appreciate that. And aside of that, that's really it. I hope that you have a safe rest of the week. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be sticking around for the next 10 minutes. But that's about it from me. Make sure that you have a look at the exercises under the exercises under week 9, exercise 11, 12, and under week 11, exercise 13. Okay, so check them out. Next class, I'll give a chance for us to discuss them. And again, I would appreciate some feedback on the survey, this quick survey for our first class. Again, great to see all of you. Hopefully everybody is okay. And again, have a great rest of the week. I'll see you all next week.